People, Deluded, I'm back again. We might as well review the Premier League performances of our two left backs, Kieran Tierney and Tierney Kolašinac. Now for me, let's speak about Kolasinac. I feel Kolasinac is, he's always been hot and cold. I feel his crossing can frustrate, it's not exactly the level of precision you want, and it is a bit of cross and hope that someone finds someone. But I think when you describe Kolasinac, you describe him, his best strengths are going forward. He doesn't play like it proves don't judge a book by its cover, because if you looked at him you'd think he was very solid defensively, can't offer much going forward, when he's the complete opposite. That being said, he did have a couple of games of recent where he looked solid with three at the back. But again, he's just over the course of the season, I just don't think he's been at it. He's sometimes got forward and done well and had good games, but more often than not, he makes silly mistakes, he makes silly tackles. The level of consistency isn't there. I just don't have any real confidence in Kolasinac. I don't think he's the worst sort of player in the world. I just don't think he's someone we need to move forward with. He's a good number two. He's a good someone we can bring in terms of depth. In games where we haven't got too much to do defensively, I think he can prosper. But I think when you look at Saka as a stopgap there, when you look at potential Kieran Tierney, when you look at Maitland-Niles against City, I haven't seen Kolasinac do any of that, and the level of focus isn't there. He makes a lot of cheap mistakes. The most recent one you saw against Spurs, where David Luiz is obviously looks like the one to blame, but it's an under-hit pass from him. I just feel Kolasinac is a 4 out of 10. I just don't think he's had a good couple of games, but I just don't think he's been of, pardon me, a respectable level here, and he's on 100k a week. Not that I care about a man's fee, just in terms of, are you justifying that? Arsenal have wage issues. Is that someone we should move on? Potentially, yes. When he came to this club, we was hearing Bundesliga left back of the season. He's a quality this, he's a quality that, and he has had good periods. But more often than not, he's flattered to deceive. We haven't seen a prolonged level of consistency that we can kind of see with Tierney if he goes above that. So it's a 4 out of 10. I'm going to give Tierney a 9 purely because, the only problem I can see over Tierney is fitness. He was... But my phone just died, people. Apologies. That's annoying because now I can't look at my notes. But like I was saying in relation to Kolasinac, it's a 4 out of 10. For Tierney, I give him a 9. I don't think, the only bad points you can say about Tierney is that he's not been fit for the duration. He's been robbed. He came to Arsenal with an injury, and then he had the shoulder problem and things like that. Then he didn't have a cramp or a hamstring injury. He's been plagued by that, and that's kind of stopped him. When I look at him, I see him as the white Bakary Sagna, in the sense of that, they're two different players. One's a left, one's a right back. But when I looked at Sagna gave me confidence in that, I think it's a pleasure, and it's not spoken about in football today, how when a man's just consistent, like when you used to look at Sagna, you knew the problems were going to be with the centre halves or what's going on at left back or midfield. You look at Sagna, you're like, alright, cool, 10 games, you're giving me a base level of performance. I look at Tierney and I feel the same way. He's going to give me a base level of performance. There are going to be games he has shockers, he gets ripped. It ain't happened yet for me, but there's going to be so-so games from Tierney, which I'll take, because they're going to be rarities. I think Tierney, it's early days, but he's giving Arsenal fans something to shout about when it comes to best left back in the Prem shouts. Robertson can have the crown because Tierney ain't done it for a long time, but Tierney's coming for that. I'm a big fan of Tierney. He comes with that Celtic mentality. He's not here to play games. He handles himself in the right way. Obviously, people hate the fact that footballers earn a lot of money. So a lot of reason as to why people love Tierney. They're seeing the Tesco's bag. They're seeing, very much the working class Scotsman by how he's grown up in the Tesco's bag. He is humble. Aubameyang loves flashy stuff, but people will say he's not as humble as Tierney because of that. He is exactly as humble as that. And don't get it twisted, for different reasons. I love that because I like that Tierney's... There's a famous saying my coach said to me when I was trying to be a footballer. He said, "You're not here to make friends. You're here to win stuff." And I get that with Tierney. Tierney's here to win 3 points week in, week out. Obviously, he's on the friend thing, but Tierney, you get the vibe Tierney's not on a joke thing. He shows the consistency. He's a good player going forward, of course, with the assists he's got. He obviously managed to get his first goal the other week. I like the way how he's bollocking players like he's been here every week. He's only 22 and he's probably the most advanced player, He's probably he's a left back, but he's probably the centre half I have the most hope in if he was to get slotted there. And for me, obviously I'm gassing it up a bit, but he's gone against some top players. He's gone against, City's wingers. He's gone against Wolves' wingers. He's gone against Liverpool's wingers. He's gone against Spurs' players. And he's passed the test each and every time. He's not been destroyed. I really like Kieran Tierney, man. It's just injuries now. I like his mentality. I like how he does his job. I like how, from what we hear, he trains the way he plays. You're hearing players that were a bit dismayed that he was training very intense and within reason flying into tackles. I don't mind that. because Tierney's not here on a joke thing. You know, he's born and bred Celtic man. He knows the thing, you know, how Celtic, yeah, people can diss Scottish League and stuff, which is stupid, but Celtic's a massive club, the way they have to carry themselves. And, you know, if Arsenal want to get back to that, we need men that are going to carry themselves. Tierney's not here to play games, you know. Tierney is a quality player. I really got a lot of time for Tierney, and obviously injuries and stuff. But for me, I'm not saying he is the signing of the season, but considering he only cost 25 million, Chilwell's going for around 40, 50 if he does go to Chelsea. You know, it's got to be up there. And in years to come, he'll prove his price tag if he stays fit. That's the only thing with Tierney. It's a fitness thing. We need to know that you're going to be fit over the course of the season and stuff like that, in which I do believe he will, because the hip injury is the hip injury. You know, the shoulder one against West Ham, it's always that's very unfortunate. But it's just about staying fit. One thing that does concern me, Don, I don't know if it's as a result of these injuries, he does seem to get cramp and hamstring injuries, and not injuries but pull up with cramp and these things quite a lot. So again, the only concern I have is he going to be able to stay fit? But he was fit for a number of years at Celtic. I think he'll get over that, and if he does, you know, with, like I said, the white Bakary Sagna in terms of consistency. And I do think, let me not go overboard and talk a mad thing in it, but in the things I say, but I do think if he stays at Arsenal for a long period and plays like this, he could be mentioned in a very good sense when he calls it a day in his Arsenal career or his football in general, you know. In my lifetime, I can't remember a Scottish player at Arsenal, to be fair with you, but he seems to be the guy that's going to make me remember, and I got a lot of time for him, man. I was a fullback, so I look at the fullbacks with even more sort of play, and I like Tierney. He's got the perfect blend of the old school way and how he carries himself on and off the field, and he's got the new school. Of course, he's not Dani Alves flying forward like the Brazilian man, but he can put in a cross. He's got a good range of crossing. He's got a good final pass, like you saw where he played it in behind for Aubameyang to do the rest and make it 2-0 against City. I've got a lot of time for Tierney still. I've got a really lot of time. So I'll give him a 9 out of 10 despite that he's not really played too much, because I think he's passed every test in terms of fullback and wingers trying to beat their fullbacks. I think he's, you know, the way he's carried himself has been a breath of fresh air, and I think the only thing you could say there's a problem with is how he carries himself, man. Tierney, I was a big fan, like you saw when I retweeted my old tweets, I was a big fan of Tierney before he came to this club, and I did have a bit of concern as to whether he's gonna, as you would have any signing, can he do it for Arsenal in the same way, you know, do the Celtic stuff he's doing, and he is. And for me, you know, if he's fit, he plays every game at left back. We just need him to be fit. We just really need him to be fit. But quality season from him, man, you know. And just in terms of how he carries himself, it's a breath of fresh air because he just gets it. 9 out of 10 for Tierney, man. The Flying Scotsman, man. I call him the Flying Scotsman now because he's just bombing down that left flank, and he's got that Scottish work nature about him. That's why I like Scottish players, man. They work hard, man. They really work. Look at I remember Naismith, man. Bear man must remember Naismith. I think Naismith worked very hard. I think Duncan Ferguson up front used to work very hard. There's many players. One thing I like about Scottish players, they work hard. They grind hard. Like they'll put themselves about on a football field in whatever role they play, and Tierney typifies that, man. And you know, I know Tierney and Robertson, based on what Robertson said, both hate the comparisons between the two, but the way football is, you know, Arsenal ain't gonna have too much to talk about, you know, between me screaming Tierney best left back in the Prem and Aubameyang best striker in the Prem, whether I believe these things or not, he gives us something to kind of hold our chest a bit higher with. So yeah, man, it's just a fitness thing, but he's gonna be a good player for us, and I do think he could go down with the Arsenal faithful very well if he puts in a shift over these next couple of years and stuff, man. And I do think I'll even go as far as to say he is central to building next season, because, you know, if we can keep Tierney fit, you know, if Bellerin can recapture previous season's form, if Maitland-Niles can lock down that right back row or Cedric Suarez, if we can source a decent centre half, you know, or two, I mean, in addition to Saliba, and give, whether it's Martinez or Leno, some stable members of the back 4 or 5 with whatever they want to do, we could do something. Our back 5, assuming we play 4 at the back 5 with the keeper, is crucial. If we obviously play a back 3, you know, the same logic, you know, we need to really build from the top bottom up, sorry people, you don't build from the top, and I feel Tierney is central to any rebuild we want to do. And I've criticised Arsenal's management for years, you know, how we spent money, but in terms of Aubameyang, and which is irrelevant to this vid, and 25 million for Tierney, it's a mazza. And to be fair, I can't even see why we was haggling in the summer over the Tierney fee. I don't even know. I can't remember what Celtic were holding out for. But, you know, the player he's been, we almost missed the trick with this, missed the boat with him. And to be fair, what I like about this with the Tierney one is it's what I've been calling Arsenal to do. You look at Liverpool, you know, they took a chance on a Robertson. They took a chance on a Mane. Do you get it? There was Tierney, Van Dijk was sitting there, Southampton went and took it. Tierney was at Celtic for a minute now. Only Leicester and Arsenal were really linked with him. And it was finally, Arsenal finally benefited from being one of them teams that take a chance on a man. Do you get it? Because now, if we sell Tierney, you know, Leicester been linked with him. I want 50 million or up now, people. Regardless, he's just signed for the club. So let's see what happens. Like I said, and I keep rambling on about, it's just a fitness thing with Tierney. But hopefully he stays fit. He's been a quality signing for me. You know, it's just a fitness thing. That's been the only dark cloud over what's been a promising first year for the lad. Hopefully he can build upon it next year and, you know, get more comfortable with his teammates, get more comfortable in his surroundings of London, get more comfortable with playing for Arsenal and just find his feet a bit more, you know. He's only been here a year, he's 20 odd, you know. This is probably a big move for him off the field. I can't imagine, I don't know if he's bought a house outright yet. He might still be in a hotel or in a little flat. I don't know if he's got a girl there or anything, or he's got his friends round, but it can be quite lonely. So it is a testing period for me. You know, he's a Glaswegian lad, forgive me if I'm wrong. He's left Celtic, he's moved, uprooted to London alone, so it's a testing period, and at least on the field you see that bravery. So the more he adapts to all walks of life, is the better Tierney will become, as with all players. Pepe the same. But in relation to Tierney, 9 out of 10 for me personally. Of course I'm going a bit overboard. Of course I'm having a bit of bias because I'm a big fan of Tierney. I do believe all players should be treated equally, and they should, but at the same time it's not feasible. Of course I'm going to be biased to Tierney and have a bit more light-hearted things with Tierney because he's playing better than a lot of men. It's that simple. The best players get treated differently. Equality is a myth in life and in football, people. I can't even lie to you lot. On that note, people, DG, I'm out.